Hello.
Welcome
Welcome, guys.
to another episode of She Knows Best.
It's not therapy, but it might help.
It might help. Today we are really in our bag of authenticity.
Bruh. I told you I'm anti after.
The proof is in the pudding.
You guys, I antied so hard. I ended up taking them home.
And you ended up with them at work.
At home, at work. But that's not how it should happen. That's not how. Don't be like me. Leave them in the restaurants and the supermarkets. Don't take them home.
You anted so hard, you did. You took them home. You wound up.
No.
You wound up taking them home.
I don't recommend. I do not recommend at all.
Anyway, it's fun times, and they are such cuties.
Yeah, they are. Sorry, you guys can't see his face today.
Yeah.
Next time when I get his parents to consent.
Yeah.
Now they might think I'm radicalizing him.
But you...
I am radicalizing
technically,
him.
yeah.
Technically,
Yeah,
that's
we
our
need
goal.
to start them young. Yeah. Makobi, have you seen how the things are difficult? Yeah. Yeah. So you see where the parenting episode, now you're seeing firsthand.
Now you see it. Which man do you think would have come like this with their children? They are working.
Got to work.
You get? He's on the laps.
That thing. The men don't do it, but the chicks do it. It was reminds us that we were talking about that chick in that. Was it the British Parliament or the New Zealand Parliament?
It was New Zealand, I think.
Yeah, who took her baby, and she was even breastfeeding
She was
in the Parliament. She's a member of Parliament. Yeah.
Man, anyway, it's not the best, but we gotta do what we gotta do, man.
Man, the babes always be trying to do. They try. The babes try.
After that, someone tells me, "But I don't have children." Can you imagine?
With these ones. Anyway, quick check in.
We
have the same check-in after our week off. After our fun times.
It's been a good week, guys.
Yeah.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
Went to Nairobi for Thames, blankets and wine. Time was hard.
At such a good time. We had such an amazing time, you guys.
It was a good time.
I keep thinking, I was looking at some of the videos and pictures we had, and I'm like, man, this was such a great weekend. Like, take me back.
It really was. You know, the funny thing is, I'd never actually been to Nairobi like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been those things of you go one day, you come out, but never really experienced Nairobi. It was so nice.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Now I see the thing where you were saying that Nairobi is big.
Yeah.
And now I get it.
Nairobi.
It was lack of experience that made me say those things.
Nairobi is a big city. Like, I love Nairobi. There's something for everyone. You can literally go to like a different place every day.
Yeah.
Like, completely different experience, meet new people. Like, it was, we had the time of our lives. Like,
but it's amazing. Like, travel actually inspires you. Like, I remember coming out of Nairobi and I was just so inspired. Like, just so, and it wasn't even boo. You get like, you don't like, it's Nairobi. I mean, you'd think it's just Nairobi, but I just came out so inspired.
Yeah.
So like, it was a good time.
Like, just buzzing. I know that's why I love Nairobi. Like, there's something about Nairobi that's, I don't know, that's so, I don't know what words to use.
Yeah.
Like, you just feel good. Like, there's just that feel good, like, there's this feel good thing that, like you said, like, it's inspiration.
Yeah.
It's the places that you go to, the people that you interact with. Like, for me, even something as simple as going to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Because, like, the alternatives, the options that they have.
The options are so different.
There are so many, and there are so
true.
many, right? So, like, things, for example, that I can't find in the supermarket here, I know, like, if I'm in Nairobi, I can buy them. Or, like, Makobi's Fanta Passion. You're welcome. I'm doing good.
Thank you like this, and I brought fantasy home.
Yeah, so for me, it's like the small things like that. And then, of course, like with the concert, it was such, an amazing experience.
First of all, like, Thames was great, everything, like, I mean, expected, right? Guys, Joshua Baraka, like,
8.
you get. but still, like, it was just, for me, it was just the experience of, like, we've known Joshua from, like, when he started.
Yeah.
And then now you're seeing him performing for 18,000 people, and everyone in that place
is singing along.
Word for word. I've never been, like, I just felt like such a proud big sister. I was like, oh,
I know.
baby.
I know.
Kid, it was just so great. Like, I just hope he just had the time to, like, soak it all in.
Yeah, I hope he did.
Because that experience must have been so crazy. Because everyone, like, the way people were singing back to him.
Yeah.
Honestly, he didn't even have to do much.
He really didn't have to.
Because
everyone knew his music word for word. Like,
word for word. And they were singing it back to him. You could feel the pride in everyone's thingy. It was just so nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so amazing. Like, yeah, seeing Joshua Baraka, and the fact that he actually came on after Thames, which of course was a little, you know, alteration with the program, but it worked so perfectly.
Like
exactly, it worked perfectly.
Because Thames is like chilled and like she's a good time.
Yeah, but he worked out the crowd. He worked up the crowd. Joshua worked up the crowd, which was a good like what's the word, encore, like when like the finishing of the show.
It was like a good climax. Of the show, for sure.
It was an amazing climax. But like for me, like our review, like my personal review of the Blankets and Wine experience, Kenya, it was amazing. I know I've heard some rumors here and there.
Nothing. You guys,
for me as me. I had a blast.
We had a good time.
The time of my life.
It was, as in, give it to me again.
Walai. And I think of late, you know this, I haven't been going to like a lot of like concerts and like I'm more of like a
intimate
setting kind of thing, like bars, whatever, restaurants.
Yeah. And
so like I easily get overwhelmed at concerts, but this concert I had such a great time. Like this Blankets and Wine,
you just move and like you feel safe.
Yeah,
the entrance at the gate was
seamless. Yeah,
it was seamless. It was just easy.
Yeah,
I think everything was easy. But yeah, so I think that's our check-in really.
Yeah,
I don't think we have any.
It was a great time.
More check-ins.
We just had to bring you guys the tea.
And then me of course, dealing with children for the weekend, guys. That's my other check-in, but...
You're in our thoughts and prayers.
Please, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They are very much needed.
Because I keep thinking, like, they're so cute, like, for us here, like, to be with them for now. But I keep thinking to myself, I know I want to have more kids, but then I keep thinking, do I want to go back to this stage? Because I'm just like...
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, it's actually a full-time job.
It really is.
It is actually, it's wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm taking them back on Sunday, but thoughts and prayers to everyone else who has to keep them forever.
I swear. But children are joy, nonetheless.
They really, really are.
Yeah. Anyway, so today we want to get into an interesting topic. We want to talk about toxic culture, toxic talk, work culture, and the buzzword we just can't escape.
Everything, my toxic trait. This one is toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic relations. That person is so toxic. That's such a toxic relationship. Everything is toxic.
Yeah. And I think some of us are kind of over the word toxic. Okay, I don't want to say over the word.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we want to get into. What's toxic and what really qualifies as toxic. And what's just, pathologizing like people's character or personalities or just bad behavior.
Yeah.
So like for you, how would you define something being toxic?
I think something being toxic is like when it's repetitive, like something that repeatedly, I don't know if the word is feel bad, but like just is like has a bad effect on like maybe yourself, your being. You get like it just has that like that that consistent bad like consequence. Like they maybe they make you feel bad, they make you feel less than, they make you anxious. Something that just brings out like this very like negative side to your being. But it has to be like consistent. Like I might piss you off once, or like we might argue once, and then you're like, yeah, she's so toxic. I'm like, no, like
that was just an argument.
Yeah, it was just an argument, or even like I made a mistake and like maybe pissed you off or treated you badly maybe once. You get unless it's unless continuous and I keep doing it and doing it and doing it, then I think that's when it becomes toxic because then it's like I think it's for me in my head, what it is like when something just keeps eating at you,
yeah.
like slowly by slowly, just
Yeah.
keeps taking,
Draining, yeah.
draining. Yes, now that's what I would think toxic is.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like it's for me, toxic is really like manipulation,
Yeah.
and exploitation. Like someone, like you said, someone like let's say it's situations are created by people. So I feel like toxic is when someone does some, like you said, something repeatedly and on purpose.
Yeah.
Because sometimes someone can do something repeatedly when they're unaware.
That it's affecting you the way
it's
that
affecting
it is.
you. But when someone does it
Yes.
on purpose, like I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing
Yeah.
to manipulate, to influence you, to
Yeah.
take something from you, to exploit,
Yeah.
that's toxic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's the way I would see it. So like those consistent patterns of like harm to others, like what
Consistent patterns of harm to others.
yeah.
Yes.
So like for me, that's how I would define
Yeah, same.
toxic. Not necessarily because I've had a misunderstanding with someone, or I've gotten into an argument with someone. Sometimes it's just that's many times not toxic. And I think and I think that's what we want to get into.
Yeah.
Why are we calling everything around us toxic?
Yeah.
Like
I think the thing is, like, the self-care culture it's great, but I think it has also like stripped us of responsibility.
Yeah.
You get, so it's any responsibility and accountability as well. It's like any small thing that maybe like we argue about or whatever, like I'll just run to like, oh, like she's such a toxic person.
Yeah.
But like you haven't or even just maybe like empathy, I think, because I haven't like thought to like think like, okay, why is she acting that way? Does she know that she's acting that way? Things like that. So I don't know, it's just
No, I think I also think that's what it really is.
Yeah.
It's like we've created a culture, and also blame it on us mental health people, because we've gotten into this whole pop psychology, like internet psychology, social media psychology, TikTok psychology, IG psychology, that we see these terms, we don't know what they mean. We don't know what they mean at a deeper level, but we want to use them as a way to avoid accountability to ourselves and to others, right?
Yeah.
So instead of thinking, like you said, instead of thinking deeply about a situation and trying to unpack it and say, was this person, is this person truly being toxic?
like, are they being mean on purpose?
Purpose?
Like,
are they trying to abuse me on purpose, or is this just, like you said, was this just a mistake? Is it a misunderstanding?
Yes.
Because, and I think that's how that's for me. I like to think of many things now as misunderstandings, as opposed to trying to pathologize them or label them as toxic, or label people as gaslighters and all of that thing. Because it's just human nature in our interactions. Not all interactions will go 100% according to our plan.
Yes.
Because we're all, autonomous human beings with our own thoughts, with our own feelings, with our
You
own...
can't expect everyone to think
and
the way
to think like
thinks.
you, to show up like you on that given day. All of those things. So for me, it's and I think it's also learning to give people grace and that space to say, you know what, they have probably, even when they have a misunderstanding with someone, they're probably having a bad day, they're probably having a bad week, or even a bad year, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean that I then label them as bad people or toxic?
Yeah. I saw this video of it was a TikTok video, and it was these two girls, right? They were looking in the mirror. Then one of the girls said, if I'm not mistaken, she said something of like, I look so cute. I look so fine, something like that. Then the other girl just was like, no, you don't. Then this girl like looks like this, and she's like, huh? What did you say? She's like, you don't look fat. The girl is like, no, I said I look so fine. He's like, oh yeah, of course. And like that interaction was so, I think it was like, it just showed like the way our relationships are these days. Because in a normal situation, the other girl would have just been like, okay, and then left it there, and then just go and be like, she said I'm fat. Like I said I'm fine, and she said I'm not. She's a jealous. You get.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we've gotten to a point where we're not having conversations with the people that we care about. Because if I think, Liz, like, you've hurt my feelings, maybe once, twice, 3 times, and then I don't take the time to be like, yo, like this is how I feel about this thing, then it's going to reach a point. Where I'm going to claim that you're toxic.
Yeah.
But I haven't given you that chance to be like, you know what? This is how I feel. This is how I'm going to do this. You get?
Yeah.
So I think
or
that's
this is
the
how
thing.
I see things.
So
Yeah.
I see it. So I remember like that clip, like even the comments were like, oh my God, like that just goes to show like all the conversations that we've had, like the relationships that people have these days, where it's like someone will come and they'll tell you how, yeah, I had this friend, she was so jealous of me, she was this, she was that, she was this. And then she's what? And then, but like you didn't have the conversation. Did you have the conversation with her?
No.
Like, did you tell them that this is how you felt? So I think that's the thing is we are so used to like just throwing things aside and relationships aside because self-care, like I have to protect myself.
Yeah.
I have to create my boundaries.
Yeah.
But, and then that also just takes away from, I think it also just takes away from what relationships really are these days.
Yeah. We have, all kinds of relationships are difficult. Yes, relationships are great. We need community. We need people. I mean, we all need each other, right? But relationships also by design, just like I said earlier, because we're all independent human beings, they're also made to be hard because you can't think the same.
Man,
You
I know
don't
it's
have
hard,
the same.
guys. Believe me, even me, I don't like a difficult relationship. But like, if it's not that, then you get like, which relationship are you going to have that is just pure, just smooth sailing?
There's none. There's actually none. But I'm also a believer in that. I'm also even though, you know, I keep saying multiple things can be true at the same time. Yes, we're avoiding accountability by calling everything toxic. But I'm also a believer in that now we are living in a generation where people have found the language to define some of the negative experiences, which is also valid.
That is so valid. No, that's so valid. And I like, again, I also agree that it's like, by the way, it's so great now that you can explain certain situations because there's a time where you couldn't, like, you're just there, you're like, what's happening? What is this?
Yeah, what's going on?
You get what's going on and you couldn't explain the situation that is happening.
Yeah.
But now you can be able to be like, okay, that's manipulation, that's gaslighting, that's this, that's that.
Yeah.
You get, and that's great.
Yeah.
So let's not take away from that.
Yeah.
But also let's not
like overdo it.
you get, let's not abuse.
Let's not abuse it.
Let's not abuse the words. You get, like,
Yeah.
so just think about, like, before you label something, before you label a relationship, before you label a person, like, think about also like what that's going to do to them.
Yeah.
You get, like, okay, like if I place this label on this person, like how will people see them? How will people view them? What, like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So toxic is an interesting concept, and it plays into like things like red flags. What are some of your red flags? Like toxic, like so let's first think about like we've talked about like toxic in terms of like interpersonal relationships, like between people. But what about like, I think one of the things that we chatted about when we were thinking about this episode was toxic workplaces.
The thing is, I'm so blessed to not have had to experience like terrible toxic workplaces. I did a very small stint in my life, which did not last long, thank God, because me, I do not like to suffer. There's one thing in this world I will not do is I will not suffer. So the moment
How long did you work there? 6 months?
No.
You didn't even make 6 months.
Liz, I finished my probation and went and told them, guys, you know what, it's not working. Packs out of this game. Okay, my probation time was ending. What they're telling me, okay, evaluation. I said,
Leave me.
it's okay.
I'm out.
Packs out of this game. Of course, like now, like they came out like, no, you try, whatever. I gave them 1 month. After that, COVID hit. I said, please. Me in COVID, in lockdown, guys, this is where I said, you know what? Since even people are laying off, let me help you.
Let me cut your costs by
Yes,
one. Let me
bye.
assist you.
Bye. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't even 4 months. Yeah. So yeah, but like, yeah. So man, toxic. But I've heard the stories, guys, and I feel so bad for people because wow, guys, you people have suffered in the corporate world.
Yeah.
You have really, really suffered.
And it's and for me, because I did like what 10 years almost in like different corporate environments.
Yes.
Like I think I got a taste of like the different types of toxicity, right?
Yeah.
And one of the ones like is, you know, I think we share it from the startup world, right?
We are family.
We are family.
Guys, when they start telling you we are a family, run, because that's not your family.
For the hills.
Run for the hills. That is not your family. You left your family at home. That is not your family. Please sir.
Yeah.
Run, because that's where they're going to use and abuse you.
Yeah.
Because we are family. That's why they're going to make you do like you're being paid for
Overworked.
one job. They're
You're
telling
being
you
overworked.
you're being overworked because we are family.
No boundaries. They
That
want to call
bonus
you
at
on
the
the
end of the year
weekend.
is not a family bonus.
It's not a family bonus. It's even
That
here.
equity is not equity bonus. It's not family equity. So please run. But also, like, I think even before like workplace red flags, I think even like there's also there's red flags in also interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That I think would be, honestly, it also works with I feel like even with like like in turn with some of the workplace red flags, because I feel like even interpersonal ones, because one is a person who never wants to talk about things, like they just want to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're the kind of person that just wants to sweep it up under the rug, like it's going to come.
Yeah.
Also, you're talking to someone about it. If it's not me that you're talking about our problems to me, you're talking to someone else.
You're telling other people.
You're telling other people our problems. You get? So someone is being but if it's not me, now what do we do?
Yeah.
You get? So I feel for me that's like my first red flag is, and for me, like I can admit, like even me, it's difficult to talk about things.
Yeah.
But I will put myself in that uncomfortable position, especially if I feel like I've been slighted or I've been hurt or you get, like if I feel like, okay, like you did me wrong here, I will try my level best to make sure that I have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because, man. So yes, I think if you have someone in your life who like just never wants to talk about things,
Yeah.
I think
That's
about
like that qualifies as a major red flag, in interpersonal relationships. I know for sure. I've also experienced that, people who don't want to talk about things, and then when you raise something, either they gaslight you into thinking like that's not what happened or that's not what was said, and then like turning things around. And have you been in a situation where someone says something to you and then you say, what did you say? And then they say, no, you said that.
No.
Yeah, I've been in some friendships
Are
like
you
that.
serious?
Yeah, like real gaslighting. You see, I've come from far.
People be gaslighting for in real life just
yes,
like that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
You guys.
Me, I've suffered. After you just seen me, I think
But
maybe
please,
we haven't gone in depth with some of that shit I've gone through.
No, clearly we haven't gone in depth because already the things that I know, I'd be like, hey, you guys, Lisa suffered with people in this world. But what?
Yeah.
But you say that as if I'm a mad person.
Yeah. But people do it so
Casually.
you know, for us, when you can say, can I really do this to someone else?
You get.
People do it. People real do it.
You guys, me, I would cry. Let me warn you. I will cry in your face.
That's why I keep saying, like, after those are some of the things. That's why I keep telling you, like, some friendships, I'm really jaded. Like, I know my core friendships.
Yes.
But then, like, the other, you know, when I go to a point and I'm like, I'm very skeptical about, like, adding or opening myself up to new deep friendships. It's things like that.
What?
You think someone is your G, like, you think someone is your person.
And then they just go and gaslight you like
yeah.
that. That's wild. That is wild. That is wild. That is wild. That is anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy one. That's a very tricky one.
Yeah.
But I think also the other thing is, I don't know how to explain this because the good thing, all of us we like gist, right? All of us we love gist. But me, the red flag comes on the person who gists about someone who is supposed to be like, I know our relationship, right? And I know the people that you have that same relationship with. And yeah, we might gist about other people that, you know, are far off. But now if you're coming and you're talking trash about the person who has the same relationship I have with you, I'm like, what do you do to the other? What do you do when you're the other side? You get, you guys, I'm like, So for me, that's also like a bit of a red flag because I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
So for me, there's that. And then the last one is the person who always says no. Because the thing is, again, like, whether we like it or not, relationships are work.
Yeah.
You get, they are work. We have to try. Like, even me, I have things to do. I have places to be. Like, I'm stressed. Yeah. That day, Steffi told me, when we're going for the birthday, she asked me, she was like, I'm from this side, from our training. I'm going to a meeting. Then I come. Because Steffi, Chisaja. I have never had a more accurate description of my life. But anyway, so like you get like all of us have shit to do.
Yeah.
But if you call me,
choosing,
I'm going to say yes. You get like a couple of times. I'm like, there's times I'll be like, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Yeah.
But the person who is always saying no, because again of this like self-care thing where we're like, oh yeah, choose yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but again, like if you want community, if you want friendships, it has to be uncomfortable to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You get so you're one no away from people never asking you to do anything again.
Yeah.
So for me, if I know that you're the person that is always saying no, then that is a red flag for me. I shit it.
Yeah. No, I totally get you, because sometimes you know how the men abuse this thing of relationships are compromise and sacrifice.
Yes.
Me, I believe more in compromising for my friends.
Yes, I would rather rather compromise for my
friends than for men.
Yes, 100%.
So, like for example, like the situation with like my birthday is tomorrow, and you couldn't make the dinner today.
Yes.
But like for me, it's a situation of I really want you to be there.
Yes.
So you can't make it to today because you have to work, right? But I really want you to be there. So like for me, the compromise in that situation is I can move it another day.
We don't have to celebrate
like
on that day
on that same day. But because I know I want you there. Do you understand? And then like today is not the actual birthday. Even the next date is not the actual birthday. And like man,
so
plans
which
change,
actual birthday? Like if plans shift,
plans shift. Like it's not set in stone that it must happen on this particular day, right? So for me, like those are the compromises I believe in. And for me, like I'm a believer in giving those compromises to like people that truly matter. Like of course not men don't deserve that level of compromise.
They do not. Don't give it to them. Do not, because the truth is they also won't give it to you.
They won't give it to you.
Me my thing is it's give and take.
Yeah.
If you find someone, by the way, who can compromise those things for you, also you compromise. But also don't always be the one compromising.
On the other end.
Yeah. Like it can't always be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's when you've talked about, you talked about like the people, someone always saying, you know, as opposed to saying putting in the work and saying I'm going to show up for my friend because this thing matters to them, or I'm going to do this for my friend because this thing matters to them, as opposed to, because then that's also exploitation where you expect someone to always give you like you're like just a receiver, but you're not investing the time, the effort into giving also.
That's the thing, that's what you need to invest. It's not like friendships, I mean, it's not about investing money or whatever, it's time and effort.
But it's time and effort.
If you can't make the sacrifice to invest that, then what are we doing?
I think friendship is more, or actually more, like you said, time and effort, because you know, things like gifts are fleeting, and also when gifts mean more when they come with those two things, the time and effort. Otherwise it feels like someone is just buying your affection without putting in the time and effort, because you know, I can throw money at the friendship just like men who throw money at relationships, right? Same concept. So those things only, like time, and I feel like time and effort are some of the most key things on like, you know, in those relationships. One of the ones I noticed is friends who like you only in a certain season of your life. Like there will be some friends, and I noticed this, there will be some friends who only want to be there for you when you're sad. But when you're there,
oh my God,
when you're happy, they don't
want.
Know,
I haven't experienced that, but I've read,
but
I've seen
about
it. I've seen it, like even on social media.
It.
Like I've seen it. What?
Yeah, I've experienced it. And then because people only talk about the friends who want to show up for you in good times. Yes, those are there, and there are many. But if you think very critically, if you think, because I think one of the things I've also done recently, maybe that's why I got to a point where I was saying I'm jaded with friendships, is doing an inventory of friendships. How does this, you know, how does our relationship work in this dynamic? Or how does our relationship work in this dynamic? People talk about the friends in good times, right? The friends who only want to show up for you in good times, but not in bad times. Yes, very valid. But it's also because it comes down to that imaginary audience. Yes. Yeah. So we always think that, oh, this person, you know, I'm the shit right now. I'm the shit right now. So people want to be around me. But, you know, it stems from that ego perspective. But I've noticed there's only people who want to be around you when you're sad. Times. But it's because of this idea of... it's a misery loves company. It has humbled you a bit. Like you're no longer like thinking like a bit like far you're not like far from them anymore. So now they feel like it's that same misery loves company. And it's so funny because I've been thinking about that thing. And the other day I was watching Call Her Daddy and the episode with Shonda Rhimes. And in her book, The Year of Yes, she talks about it. Because she even talked about it on the podcast. She's like, before she made it, like before she blew up, there are people who are with her, like supporting her, helping her get through the difficult
When she
times.
made it now.
When she made it, it's like, how dare you leave us behind? Like,
how dare you make it without us?
Make it without us. And
Those are
that's
people
the
who
same
start
concept.
who start reminding you of like you never would have been who you are if it wasn't
Without
for
me. Yeah.
Wow.
So like people who don't know how to,
You know, sometimes I'm just so glad that I actually guard my heart so closely, because I'm like, now imagine all these things.
yeah.
That is wild. That is wild. Anyway.
It's well.
But yeah,
behaved.
so those are some of the red flags. I think everyone just consider them. Also share with us your red flags. So you're like, this type of friendship for me, no.
Yeah.
I am not involved in it.
Yeah. I would really, really love to hear
Yeah.
from you more red flags. But anyway, me, I don't participate in red flag friendships and relationships
Please.
these days.
We are too old, guys.
We are really, really too old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you know, and also it's another thing, like, you know how you talked about it could be, some people consider it toxic, right? The ability to tap out of a situation and say packs very quickly to protect yourself. Some people consider it,
Yeah.
because I've also gotten to a point, I think, because like I keep saying, I'm jaded by friendship. I think I'm also very quick to set boundaries.
Yes.
So if I feel like one time, two times, three, and I cut you off, people are like, Liz, you cut people off so easily. And I'm just like,
You know what I've been
what
through.
I've been through.
To be honest, I won't even lie. For me, I mean, you know me. That has always been my life. Like, quickly. Like, I am quick to cut off, which also, it could be a toxic situation, because we are now going back to that person that was saying that doesn't have the conversations. I'm now grown. Now I'll have conversations, but it will also depend on who I'm having that conversation with. Like with you, I'll have the conversation.
Yeah.
There are friends, there are people in my life who I will have the conversation, but then there are also other people I'm like, no, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
owe them, like,
Fachi,
yeah,
I don't owe you
that
shit.
level of yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Like if you've messed up, like it's cow. Now I've seen you. Like I don't need to. Like I don't. You get? So there's some situations where like I will make it. I will. It will be intentional to have those conversations.
Yeah.
But I am quick to cut off.
Yeah. Same, to be honest. I'm very quick to cut off. I mean, I still like to make friends. I still like to interact, all of that. But I've also reached a point where I'm like, when it's like too many red flags.
Honestly, for me, even a job, I'm quick to cut off. I mean, even that one. But even now, like in my like entrepreneurial thingy endeavors, if you know, now let me tell you a client that is a red flag, you guys. A person who comes, you know, like when you're an entrepreneur or even you're a freelancer, I'm sure you've had this before, where someone comes is like, oh, let me say, oh yeah, I want you to like do photography for me, whatever. He's like, no, it's very easy. It's very easy stuff that I want you to do. That one, if anyone can do it, but I want you to do it. Run.
Run for the hills. Yeah.
Run for the hills, because that moment someone starts to minimize what you're doing and your work, you know they will never appreciate it.
Yeah.
They won't pay you what you're worth, and they will. Like
They overwork you,
but also they'll criticize it. Like they won't be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
They will always find something wrong in it, because they've already decided someone can do it better.
Yeah.
So if someone starts to talk like that, no. You guys, there's a time someone wanted me to manage Seven. Someone told me, but even my daughter can do it. She does her school events. I said,
go and hire your daughter.
you guys, I have never so quickly. I told him, I was like, you know what? Let your daughter do it. I'm sorry, I am not available. I won't be able to do it. He's like, now you see, you've caught feelings. I told him, no. By the way, it's fine. Like, I don't need to work for you. Like, it's not for by force. I don't know you. You don't know me. Someone you are looking for someone recommended me.
Yeah.
But me, I've refused to do that job. He was like, I can't do it. But again, that's the biggest red flag. When someone starts to minimize your crafts, then they won't pay you enough. They will never be happy with anything that you do, because in their head, they've overpaid. However little they've paid, in their head they've overpaid, and someone else could have done it for cheaper.
Yeah. But I've also noticed that thing where we intentionally minimize people. Anyway, I'm not a psychologist, so let me not participate in pop psychology. But it's a very common thing that we do have in our culture.
Yeah.
Whether it's in friendships or relationships or work, we like to it's another toxic thing that we do. We like to generally minimize people. We like to humble people.
Yes.
It's that thing of, I'm trying to humble you. So even in a work setting, or even in I was briefly seeing this guy who used to tell me all the time, the problem is you think you're so bad. And I was like, but because my mind had already, like, I was already going through that journey of unlocking certain things in my mind, I started hearing it. Every time he would say it, like the older Liz wouldn't have...
No, you're fine.
Wouldn't have clocked it.
Yeah.
But then my ears were so open. So I had it every time he would say.
The older Liz would hear it as banter of like, of course I'm bad. Ki. But you're like, twice, 3 times. Now that joke is overcoming.
The last time he said it to me, I didn't talk to him again. I left, and I never answered his call again.
I love that for you.
Because I said, this person is trying to humble me.
Yes.
What's the word? Negging.
Yeah.
It's negging. This guy was trying to humble me. He wanted me to feel like I had to prove myself that I'm actually bad. If you're talking to me, you vibed me, you're talking to me, of course I'm bad.
You found me.
You found me.
For you, is it? But first of all, for you, do you go around just vibing fake chicks?
Fake chicks. So it means you went up.
There's something you saw.
There's something you saw.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to humble me by telling me all the time? The problem is you think you're bad. And that's a thing we say in our like social settings.
Yeah.
So why do we like to? I find that thing very toxic. We like to humble people. Whether
honestly, it's
work,
weird, but it's projection. It's projection, and it's not. It's that thing of like, because you see, we have. You remember when Burna Boy was on the Trevor Noah show? When not the Trevor Noah show, when Trevor Noah was doing that late night show. So Burna Boy was on the show, and then so of course they're now like bigging each other of like, yeah, you're doing this. Burna Boy is telling Trevor as well. It's like, oh, you're doing this. You're doing big things. So Trevor is like, I'm trying. Burna Boy is like, please.
Yeah.
You're not trying. You're doing. He's like, the thing is with us Africans, like we like to diminish the work that we've done, the things that we've done. So because like as a society, we like a humble person.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I say like, hey man, Liz, you're doing big things, they're like, no, it's not that big. So that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. So even that person, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for you to be like, no, I'm not that. I'm not all that. I'm not all that. Then that's where they start from. To start now. To start now doing that. But you need, when they tell you that, you're like, yeah.
Ndiwachitalo nga bwendoza.
Ndiwachitalo nyo, by the way. Yeah. Like, and because I'm ndiwachitalo nyo, that's why you came to me. Otherwise, why were you looking for me?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like that humble thing. I think it's like a society thing that we need to like get out of ourselves. Like even now, like I'm starting to learn where someone is like, hey, like man, after you're doing big things, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, even you know.
Yeah. Like for me, if it's not you guys like my close friends, I think what I usually say is Salah Zamwe. Like it's your prayers.
Yeah, the other day I met a chick, and then I stole that thing from her. Where so now again they were telling her like, hey, what uchichi, what sente, what? And it's like Salah Zamwe. Nekati mtanike kusalila balala. Like even me, I'm tired. Yeah, like this is so konyo. But start with others. So I was telling Yasin something. He was there being me, but tell him Salah Zamwe nekati. Nabalala musabide ko like I'm overwhelmed, guys. Yeah, too much.
No, but like for me, if it's
but that's as you should. Like as you should. Again, like you're blessed. You get like the fact that your people are able to say these things and to like talk to you like that and be like, oh, you're doing this. You're like, yeah, I'm nang alhamdulillah. Even now for me, that's what I did. So I'm like if it's like a serious, I'm like, man, alhamdulillah. I can't complain. Yeah. You get, I can't because as you get, but that's that humbling thing. Even me, by the way, there's a guy who like again also found me. Found me. I was driving out of like a party. It's like, man, what? He insists. He was with his cousin. So cousin's like, I can vouch for my guy because I knew the other person. So I'm like, I can vouch for my guy. Give him my number. So it's like, hey, you're texting, getting to know each other. So I'm saying like what I do with us. I tell him, oh, like I work with my lembe. He's like, hey, you're one of those guys. I was like, He's like, yeah, you know those guys are. So
what is like? So one of those guys, like what's like he had already. I feel like he had put you already in a certain box.
First of you get exactly that the moment he had Malembe, he like had this thing that he's thinking. Then funny enough, like I think a few days after that, that was when Blankets and when Kampala was still happening. And we had like, we used to do the Malembe tent, and Malembe tent was like super exclusive. So I'm like, hey, so he's like, hey, what are you doing this day? I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be working. What? We have a tent at Blankets. He's like, hey, so you're the ones. What are I looked at that message. I never replied another one.
Yeah.
I said I can't, because now
Why
are your insecurities? Why have they become my problem?
coming up?
Actually, so I think he was even coming. He was like, yeah. Like he's like, yeah. I also know like the House of DJs guys, but like I don't like to be like in those tents. Like so I'll be like in the. I was like, good for you. No, like you.
Good for you. Do you at the concert?
How is that my problem?
He wanted you to downplay,
Yes,
like,
there is nothing I hate like an insecure. I was going to say that N word, but I hate saying it. But there's nothing I hate like an insecure guy. It is so unattractive.
It's so
like,
unattractive.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's so unattractive, and I keep saying it.
Like, do you want me to now just come and just start telling, like uplifting you as if I'm doing my nails of like, you're special, you're good, you're great, you can do this.
No, the thing with insecure men is there's no amount of work that you ever put in.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
Make them secure.
Exactly.
In fact, now you're the ones who start pulling you down.
But it's so unattractive. Guys.
Once
like,
I sense
really
that,
need to do better.
But even once I sense that in guys, even in friendships, I'm just like,
no, like
it's
guys,
not my job,
it's
because
really,
we'll all go down together.
Yeah. It's not your job.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really not your job. But anyway, that thing is so unattractive. Like, but again, we like to we love a humble person, and we love a modest person.
We love
modesty. It's not even modesty.
Afsa, I've also noticed something. We love a humble woman.
True.
Because men are not expected.
They're not expected to be humble. They're not expected to like downplay their achievements. You get.
Let me give you an example. If you're sitting at a table with guys, they're allowed to brag about their cars. They're allowed to brag about their properties. They're allowed to brag about their money. As a woman, you're not allowed to brag about those things.
Because you'll be seen as weird of like, but that chick
is too proud.
Yeah, why is she always talking about her things, the things that she has?
But you're doing the same thing that the men are doing. You're doing the same thing that the men are doing. But you're not supposed to say. You're not supposed to say that I bought this house.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say that I'm doing this thing. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be seen and not heard.
Never as, please. Anyway, for me, that's not my thing. But also, again, stay away from an insecure nigga. Stay away from anyone that just wants you to just belittle yourself or diminish anything that you've done, because that is the worst kind of person.
Yeah. That's
the worst kind of toxic
terrible.
behavior. It's really terrible.
So we talked about we are family.
For work.
Yeah, for work.
Now we've talked about the one who diminishes the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
Slackers and freeloaders.
That one, to be fair, I can't think of that one, because that one is a corporate thing. That one I haven't experienced.
But you've not experienced it in entrepreneurship?
Not really. I think it's because a lot of the work that maybe I've experienced it maybe working with other people. I remember there's a job that we did. Maybe it was actually during at the peak of COVID and into COVID ending. We're doing some branding work where we were supposed to do branding materials for this company, and we would print and fabricate so many things, thousands of pieces and stuff like that. So I'm again, me and nepotism. So my sister was working with me at that point. So now she was in charge of operations. So she would would do the printing, everything, and then she would make sure they're delivered, the count is what it has to be, and things like that. I remember now the person our direct contact who was supposed to receive the stuff. This girl, Aisha, used to go to this girl's office and literally create spreadsheets for her to enter what we've delivered, how many pieces, and Aisha would be like, she's lucky I'm working for you. Otherwise, the money I would have made from that chick. Because the thing is, if Aisha put 1,000 pieces, then should say we got 1,000 pieces. You get so because let me say if they've delivered 1,000 pieces and we've maybe delivered 500, I should put 500. She'd be like, even if I put 700, that she couldn't know. So she'd go organize her work for her, everything, whatever, and it's bruh. So I think maybe that's the only way I've experienced it, is like maybe the company that I'm working with and there's like slackers and freeloaders. But usually that doesn't really affect us and the work that we do directly.
That's why entrepreneurship is nice, because you can build your own work cultures. You build your own company.
Exactly. So for me, like even like with that, all like with Clone Me, with Malembe, I think the teams that we've created around us, we don't have a lot of like slacking and freeloading. We have, like, even with Malembe, because I have 3 other partners, it's very clear what everyone's role is and everyone's strength is. So we pull each other in that way. There's things that they would never trust me to do because they're like, please get out of this. Yeah, you get it. But there's also things where it's like, if Afsa is not doing it, then it's not going to be done that we're supposed to be doing. So I think that one I haven't I've experienced it maybe looking at other people where I'm like, guy, you're suffering. That person is not doing anything.
No, from like when you're in corporate, you experience it so much because you're working on teams. Remember, if they're big corporates, we don't like it if it's public service or public sector, even private sector, like with very big companies, we don't often have like layoffs or people getting fired for petty reasons. So there are a lot of like freeloaders. So you'll carry the bulk of the work on a team, and people just show up. People just be showing up.
Just show up to just eat money and go.
People just be showing up. So that's what I've experienced. Like it's a very real thing. Like, and working in teams, like I said, corporate, when the company is not yours or whatever, there's a lot of freeloaders. There are people who will take your work,
take your credit for your work.
There are people who want to, steal your notes because they think they can. As in, man, there's a lot of like weird shit, like creepy shit that goes on in corporate. There's a lot of like creepy shit. I think that's why I'm not very enthusiastic about it. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in like corporate. So the freeloaders are many. I remember there's this institution that I worked in, and I was privileged to know the MD, like 1-to-1. So he called me like for a lunch to find out how I was doing and how I was getting on with the role. And so I was complaining to him. I told him, like the teams don't, I feel like that our team is quite slow. People aren't putting in the work and the effort. I feel like, I even when I put my ideas forward, they're either not, people don't want to act on them, or, I have to push something by myself to get it through. The guy told me, listen, when you run a big organization like me, you start to understand the 80-20 rule. What's the 80-20 rule?
Tell me.
20% of the organization does 80% of the work. Yeah, so basically, the other 80 are barely doing anything. 80 are doing 20. Yeah. But he said, but that's how it is, because some of these institutions, remember, your mandate as a business owner, as an employer, especially of a big organization, is to provide employment in the economy. That's one of the things that's one of your mandates, like your social mandates in the country or the economy in which you operate. You have to employ people. So sometimes you're employing people not because of merit, or they've not retained their jobs because of merit, but because you just have to employ people. You just have to employ people.
My God.
Because that's your responsibility.
When I hear things like that, I'm like, guys, maybe I stay where I am.
So like that thing kind of like changed my perspective.
So
it was really
moving accordingly.
Yeah, it was a really good piece of advice. So even for me now, when I enter an organization, I still want to believe in teamwork. I want to work with people.
You move.
But now I'm very intentional when I'm working on a project. I understand that Budiomo alibibi. Like I can't. And that thing used to nag me. Like anyway, that's part of growing up. In my 20s, I used to say like, why aren't people, putting in the effort, putting in the time, putting in the work, whatever. But then I realized that you can't control people. Everyone has a different motivation.
Do what you
in
can
life.
achieve.
Especially if the company is young.
Company see atata.
Company see atata one. I try and execute it to the best of my ability. Echiba chiganye nganchogera ti kino chiganye because of reason nganchirekera nanyinicho neneyongerayo nenkwata ekirala because I can't come and kill myself.
You really can't, but that's so crazy.
When I learned that
80-20 rule is wild.
Yeah. He told me that. And because these CEOs or leaders of these big corporate entities, they've had so many years of experience. So even them, they've learned how to
navigate the system.
They've learned how to manage people.
Eh.
Because like as a CEO, your job essentially, anyone will tell you, is to just manage people.
But true, actually, that's true.
Is to just manage people.
I've had that before.
Yeah.
It's people management.
It's people management. Because remember, as a CEO, you're sometimes maybe someone is
people
coming
are
from
doing all the work. Like you just need to make sure that they're in the best position to do the work.
So because a CEO it's not a role for specializing. It's a generalist role.
Yes.
So because you have to manage finance, you have to manage the technical team, you have to manage HR, marketing, procurement, every aspect. So you're not a specialist in any one of them, but you're more of like a generalist. So what does a generalist do? You learn how to manage people to motivate them to be the ones to do the job for you.
The special jobs, the
specialist jobs. So that HR does their job, so that procurement does its job, so that accounting does its job.
Yeah.
So you're a people manager. So like when I got that, when he told me that thing and I learned it, I'm like, you know what?
Scar.
Especially in this very big organization.
Like packs out of this game.
It's by the way, but it's not packs out of the game in that I don't give my all. It's
no,
packs out of the game
like,
of expecting other people.
Yes, exactly.
Or putting expectations on other people to do their part of their work.
Yes.
No.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah. So another toxic thing, like which applies both to work and social, is cliques.
Oh my God.
I have trauma. I have clique trauma.
That's as you should. But to be fair, you can't even start because even you in high school, in secondary school, there were cliques.
How did that end?
No, but I mean, it didn't end badly.
Okay, it didn't end badly. With a few people, there were like a few fallings out here and there.
Yeah, but I don't remember for us like it being like a terrible fallout.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. But like I get that. But also like in secondary school, I see why the cliques are there, right? Because you're in this very enclosed space and you need to find your tribe, your people and things like that. And it's easy for... like the options are not that many, so the ones that you get that you're like, okay, these are my people, it's easy for you to like connect and latch onto that thingy. But now you see now in a workplace and then in life, even like no more general like social life, you're like, okay, so how is that benefiting you? Because there is so many people out there, like there's so much you could be doing, there's so many things you could be doing with all these people, but you've decided to like click up with a certain thing. And also cliques are not a bad thing if they are not like affecting other people, if they're not being mean, if there is not the kind of clique that is maybe it's a clique of, maybe you're in a clique with someone in a higher position, so which means you're getting favorable things and things like that. So I think, I don't know, the cliques one, I think it depends on how you use the cliques. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you use the cliques. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you have a friend group, you technically have a clique. But it's like, how does that? Is it like? Does that clique affect the system of things?
But you see, that's even when we're in high school, when we're growing up, your parents would always tell you, avoid cliques.
Yes.
Avoid groups.
And by it would be like, I remember even at Green Hill, like, when my auntie came to school, they're like, yeah, they're in a clique with the what are you're like, you guys.
Bambi Awachi group was big.
Yeah, it was big.
Anyway, so that's why, like, growing up, they tell you like avoid cliques. But like you said, because like remember, there's also a lot of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a teenager, when you're growing up. But many of us are just children in adult bodies.
That's true.
Even as we get older.
Problem. I think that's actually why the biggest problem is. We continue the things that we did in secondary school. We continue to bring them to the workplace and also to just normal, like adult social lives.
Yeah. And so that's what the problem is. You the failure, because you're in a friend group, the failure to find your own identity as a human being. So, and then of course, where one fails to find identity, there will always be the queen bee who influences everyone else, you know. And
the
so
queen bee sichitegelanga, because I'm like, I can't be there and I'm just following someone just God, the person is telling me what to do and how to act. Are you mad?
I think maybe that's the difference between a clique and a friend group.
Yes.
It's like there's who's the
Uh-huh.
head of the
Actually, yes, because I
who's
think
the
a
head
clique
of-
has a head.
Yeah.
A friend group, you're just friends.
Yeah.
You get.
because
That's
I would
actually,
like to
yeah.
think like we have different me and you we
Yeah.
have different friend groups, but we don't
Yes.
have cliques. Everyone is
Yeah.
doing their own thing.
Exactly, because we're not there following one person, but this one.
No, we don't have that.
No.
Actually, we really don't have that.
Yeah.
And for me, that's I mean, I've been a part of as an adult, I've been a part of like cliques unintentionally.
Yeah.
But then when I also snapped out of that thing, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you're like, what's happening
what
here?
in the hell? Like, what do you mean someone is controlling the social dynamic here?
You get like
Me,
what,
for me, I
what,
can't think for myself, and
at your big age.
at my big age. So yeah, but like and that's why I keep saying now, like me, I don't operate in cliques. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider our different friend groups cliques. No.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever been in a clique. Again, I think it goes back to like the way that I was brought up, where it was like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've never been like a follower.
follower, yeah.
So I would never be able to like be like, okay, these are my friends. I don't talk to anyone else. We don't talk to anyone. This is maybe the leader, or even if it's me leading the clique, I'm like, bruh, what? So I
It's
think
too much pressure.
It's really too much, and it's too much work. And I'm like, no. Like, first of all, I'm not responsible for anyone.
Yeah.
And no one is responsible for me. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But so yes, I think I'm like, I don't think I've ever actually been like cliquey. And also that like the cliquey thing also makes me uncomfortable, to be honest, because I also don't know how to, like, you can't just tell me this is how it's going to be, this is how we move, this is how we behave. I'll be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, I find it very odd. Like I keep saying, like, you mean for me, I cannot think for myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and for me, yeah, like I keep saying, like when I came to that realization, I'm very intentional, like about the friends that I keep. I prefer like yes, I have friend groups, but now as I get older, I prefer more one-on-one friendships.
Yeah.
Yes, we may end up like with as a group of people, because that's also one of my strengths. I like introducing people to others. Like I like say like I like introducing my friends to like other friends of like you know
do.
not for purposes of a clique, but purposes of like get to know each other as well. Right. So like when I stepped out of man, this thing of cliques and like queen bees, this thing kills me, and I'm just like, guys, you know, we're adults.
Big people.
You know, we're adults.
Imagine now me, I'm here, I'm telling YJ what to do, but there's someone also telling me what to do. Can you imagine?
As big people.
As a big person, you're lying.
And those things get out of hand. Like in this Kampala of ours, people want to are pushing their husbands to also buy them GLEs because their
Queen
friends.
Bee has a GL.
Yeah, because they have click everyone. They drive Mercedes, or they all have to go on the same holidays, or they all have to have like me. I'm just like,
imagine those
God,
problems.
how? Yeah, those are the problems people are dealing with.
Can never be I.
There's this show on Netflix, Hunting Wives. Have you seen it pop up on your Netflix?
I saw a TikTok ad about it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I haven't switched on my TV in a very long time.
When you in your free time.
Yeah.
In your free time after you watch.
Is it a reality show
no.
or
it's a drama?
Drama.
Yeah, but it's based like it's based like in Texas, and there's women who are like they are far right kind of babes, and they have this clique, and then this chick who was working for the Democratic Party, I think in Massachusetts, joins them in Texas because her husband just got a new job, so they're trying to get in with that clique, and yeah, it's just drama. But I loved
now
it.
I have Hunting Wives. I have How to Kill a Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
Cool.
Watch it. It's a really good depiction of adults cliques and how crazy and out of control they can become.
I got you.
Yeah, you need to watch it. Anyway, so I'm being told we need to wrap this one up. So wait, but let's say like why do you think I think we've touched on it. Why do you think these toxic cultures thrive, whether it's in an office setting or a corporate setting, or whether it's in a social setting?
I think that is because we're always, whether we like it or not, like we're always looking for community. We'll always be looking for a sense of belonging somewhere. You get, so if you find a workplace that tells you, oh, we're family, we're this, then it feels good. Like, I won't lie, like it does feel good to feel like, to think that these people care about you, or like that these are your friends, and you can do all these things with them, and maybe you're working in the same place and you have the same goal. So all that bonds you. And then even with like the friendship cliques as well, it's like you're looking for a sense of belonging, for somewhere where you're like, okay, these are my people, this is my community. So I think that's how toxicity thrives. I think even in relationships as well, is you won't let a certain relationship go because maybe it's familiar, or
you're looking for belonging.
You're looking for belonging, or like, that's my person. Either it's your person, as in that's your friend, or your person, or that's your like romantic partner. You get.
Yeah.
So there's always like the reason why toxicity continues to thrive is because we all have a need to belong. We have a need for community. We have a need to belong to someone, to somewhere, and you get.
Yeah.
So I think I would say that's why I feel like that would be the thing that makes like toxicity thrive for sure.
Like I would say like we've bred a culture, like we were talking about humility. We've bred a culture of silence
That's the word
and
I was
fear.
looking for. Humility, not modesty. Humility.
Yeah. We've bred that culture of silence and fear.
Yeah.
Like you can't speak up where you feel like you're being treated unfairly, or where you think someone is exploiting you
true.
or manipulating you.
That's also true.
So like that's the culture that we operate in.
When
Like
I think of it's not always about you, it shouldn't always be about you.
yeah. So you can't speak up for
Yeah.
yourself. You can't, without feeling, invalidated.
Yeah.
And for me, like that's something I'm continuously trying to break out of. Because I've also realized, especially in our culture, especially as a woman, when you speak up against something, you're labeled dramatic,
Yeah, of course.
or you're labeled aggressive. So that in itself, it creates this need to remain silent and fearful of, oh my God, people are going to call me dramatic. People are going to call me.
Yeah, like
you
I don't
know,
want, also you don't want to bring attention to yourself, because attention to yourself as a woman is never good.
Yeah.
Like it's going to end up with you being insulted, with you being gaslit, something you get. It's the same way like you'll be in a bar or something, and then like a guy will say something inappropriate, or will do something inappropriate, but you'll continue to smile because you're like, you just don't want to bring that attention to you, because then it's going to come with negativity, and not towards him but towards you,
not the person, not the offender, but you, the person who is on the receiving end.
Yes.
But it also comes from how in our culture we are told women, we're supposed to be modest as women.
Yes.
So your first offense is being out in the bar. That's your first offense.
or even in the office. By the way, why were you there?
Yeah. So that's already an offense, that you are in the bar, or you are in the office, or you are where you are not supposed to be.
Yes.
So society is always going to say that you are where you are not supposed to be. So when something happens to you, let's say, for example, girls who are victimized when they go on a night out or whatever, their crime is going
that's
out.
your first crime.
What were you wearing?
What were you wearing? Why were you with that person? Why were you in that space?
So it's always a situation of like, and then that creates that silence and fear around, speaking out against, speaking out about harm against you.
Hi, Sherry, are you okay?
Yeah, so it creates it perpetuates that cycle of like fear and silence.
Yes.
So people don't want to talk about
so
like
exactly,
stuff that
and
they're going
which also makes sense, which is also one of the reasons why you'd stay in a toxic situation.
Yeah.
Yes, man, just know I've had people stay in toxic situations, like workplaces even, and and it's like,
Ooh.
there are people that you think like you look like. I know like two women who told me about their experience in a toxic workplace, and I was like, I would never think you.
Yeah.
You get, because they are ideally these strong women. They're always speaking out. They're so this, they're so that, and they told me how like a workplace broke them, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Even you?
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's what, and that's the funny thing, that strength that they build it's kind of like interconnected, because you have to develop such thick skin to be able to manage that workplace, right? But when it comes to like tolerating toxic workplaces, it's also the economy, man.
True. True, because it's like you don't have another. Where are you going
What
to
are you
get
going to
another
do?
job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people there's a lot of people who are tolerating very bad workplaces or work environments because it's like,
yeah,
what am I going to do?
Yeah, where
And-
else do I go?
Yeah, and you hear that often. Like
Yeah, true.
you have a lot of like older people, for example. I
Yeah.
always have a lot of older people, for example. So when I tell them this is what I'm struggling with in this place or whatever, they're like,
but they're paying
but
you.
they're paying. You don't quit. Find another way to navigate. So we continue to remain in these environments that eat away at us
Yeah.
because you're being paid or you're
Yeah.
being
Okay.
remunerated.
That makes sense.
Anyway.
Nag.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's been a
good one. It's a very interesting one, to be honest. I don't think we've had like a deeper I feel like most of the topics that we've been having, we've like discussed them deeply.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one is the first time like we've gone this in depth about it, which is interesting. I think we're getting to that place where our usual topics are starting to deplete, and now we're going into
deeper.
deeper topics.
Yeah, and I think we should have some people and just banter with them.
Yeah, but listen, I'm so scared. You know me when I'm with new people. Like with you it's easy, but with new people it's going to be like now you're just going to see me just like thinking. But we'll do it. Maybe next season we'll see. I've had, to be honest, I've had a couple of like really great requests. So maybe we'll see. Let's see it. But if guys are bored with seeing just the two of us just talk to each other.
Yeah. But also like we could space the guests out. But the thing is, if we think very deeply, like me, I can think of some names. There are people who we can banter with that we know both, like very well, that you wouldn't feel like you need to retreat or you would like we'll think of a few people. If you have any recommendations, our friends, please, you think we can know. We can banter.
Or if you're the one and you're like, you guys, me, if I come there, we'll banter properly. Let us know.
We've
had a few requests, a few DMs, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah. We know some people you would the conversation would flow.
Let's do it.
Anyway, we gotta love you and leave you.
Yeah,
the babies are.
I have to take them home now.
Yeah, the babies are on our next today.
Yeah.
So even here we're just like
you're in Bunkenke.
There's one you've not seen who is controlling the cameras behind there. She's taking over from Alan.
Yeah, she keeps moving the camera everywhere. So if you see some crooked angles, Bambi, don't blame Alan.
But
he had an assistant.
He had a very special assistant.
An inexperienced assistant.
In the cutest pink dress.
I know. With her
she looks so cute. Anyway, guys, we gotta love you and leave you.
Bye, guys.
Bring your kids to work. Has been fun.
It has been fun. This one has slept. Meanwhile, he has been snoring the whole time. Alan,
did you catch the story? Anyway, guys, we've had a great time. This is She Knows Best.
It's not therapy, but it might help. Peace out.